Alright guys, so before today's video begins, I just want to do a quick shameless plug to one of our second channels, All 4. This is a channel that I think you all will enjoy if you enjoy my videos. I just want to quickly mention it here. Here's a sneak peek at some of the footage that you can expect to find on this channel.
But hey, wait a minute! the Brontosaurus chapter
is
not
terrifying.
Not scary.
Dude.
I guarantee you when the creators were making it, they weren't trying to make a scary game or like a horror game.
I bet they were.
I bet they were trying to make it scary. Maybe not a horror game, but it was
like,
scary.
I'm gonna say one thing: there are only 2 good live service free games.
Whoa! First of all, that's a statement.
Hot take.
At least on console.
Gunnar, you're gonna get canceled from this podcast.
No, I just want to say this.
So yeah, if you're interested at all, please go subscribe over there. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you, and on to the video.
Wanna talk to kids?
And hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about NSO games, Nintendo Switch Online, classic video games that I've been playing on the service. And if you couldn't already tell by the thumbnail, this video is going to be very Mario centered. I did not plan for this. These were just 3 games on NSO that I ended up playing, and they all happen to be Mario games. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Originally, this was just going to be games I have been playing that I didn't talk about on the channel. So it was originally going to have the game Bramble on here as well, but then I realized that this would be a very weird video if it was 3 Mario games and then Bramble, a game that is like couldn't be more different than Mario. So I figured I'd rebrand the video and try out something different instead. So we're just going to be talking about 3 games that I've been playing on NSO. So the first one we're going to be talking about is my favorite that I played out of these 3 games, and that is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. So this game is my childhood. I know people say that a lot about a lot of different games. I mean it though. I mean it for this one. I played this game way back in the day. It came out the year I was born, 2003, and I played it a ton as a kid. I never beat it though, because I absolutely sucked at it. I was not good at it all, and I would play my older brother's save file just so I could go to the Yoshi Museum in the game because I adore Yoshi and I just wanted to see the area and also have new abilities and powers in the game. But I personally never beat it. I didn't even get that far really because I didn't read. I was probably too young for that because it was one of my first games I ever owned or played in my entire life because the Game Boy Advance SP was my first console. There's a lot of memories here. There's a lot of nostalgia, but I saw it on NSO and I wanted to play a Game Boy Advance game because that's probably my favorite console out of the NSO library. So I figured I had to go back and finally finish it for myself since it's a game I never actually finished. So the first thing that you'll notice in this game is the humor is just so peak. It is so hilarious. Going back to this game even now, like I was constantly laughing and had a big smile on my face just playing this game because Mario and Luigi have never had so much personality in any of their games. And that might be a hot take. Some of you might not agree with that, but I think it's totally true. There's like no other game that these 2 people, these 2 characters have been in where they have been this entertaining and just so full of life and energy. There's tons of clips that I took during my time playing this game with the Switch's record feature. And I'm just like laughing at these things constantly because it's just like, it's perfect. It's literally perfect. So yeah, the humor in this game is absolutely phenomenal. It's really, really funny. And when you first start out the game, I would say just, stick with it, play through it because there's a lot here. Yes, it's really funny, but also I think the story is really cool. It's not something super deep and complex like a certain game we're going to be talking about on the channel here in a little while, but it still takes itself seriously enough to where you can actually kind of be impressed by the story in ways. Like it's kind of dark at times, kind of serious and almost creepy. Cackletta is a really cool villain. Yeah, she has some like humorous and joking moments, but I'll never forget the moment when she possessed Bowser's body and turned into Bowletta. she's terrifying. Like, this thing is so creepy to me. So yeah, the story, the Bean Kingdom in the game, and everything that happens there, it's just entertaining and fun to play through, which brings us to the gameplay. Yeah, it's also really good. So the game is centered around, it's an RPG, but it's centered around the A and B buttons almost entirely. So A controls Mario, like his jumps and his movements, and then B controls Luigi. And this is really an interesting style of RPG that I don't really think we see at all. Like, I can't think of any other game that does what Mario and Luigi does in terms of its gameplay, especially for an RPG, because it's just so different and it's so unique. So in and of itself, it is a lot of fun. I would say early on, it's a little boring maybe because you don't have that many abilities or what they call bro attacks, but eventually it gets way more complicated and interesting to play. So I would definitely recommend this game as well for the gameplay because it is very fun. It's very unique and there's not a whole lot exactly like it. And I think this game would be better if there were more like buttons used on the controller. But since it's a Game Boy Advance game, I can't complain that much. It was really impressive what Alpha Dream did in this game. And F's in the chat for Alpha Dream going bankrupt. That's really sad. Another thing, this is just my final point I want to make about this game, is it's just so full of charm. And this is something we're going to revisit with another game later. But it's just so extremely full of charm and life, and it's just a unique thing in and of itself. So I highly recommend Mario and Luigi if you've never played it before, or if you're like me and you grew up with it and you know, maybe never beat it. So on to the next one. So the next game we're going to be talking about, we're going to take a break from the Mario RPGs for a second, and we're going to talk about Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. So I started playing it, and as far as gameplay goes, for the most part, it's just a standard Mario game, like a 2D Mario game, but there are still some cool mechanics on certain levels. Like the one level where you go to space and Mario is in, an astronaut suit and he's just like flying around, that was really cool. And that kind of brings us to the idea of the different concepts in this game. It really had a lot of weird ideas. Like, this is not a very standard, typical Mario game. It just has so many ideas that are just so weird and wild that we've just never seen in a Mario game. And I know that sounds weird just looking at this footage, looking at this gameplay. It looks really standard. It just looks like just a normal Mario game, but I don't even think there's Goombas in the game, but there's like ants and like cannon pigs and things. Like, it's just wild. And in a way, with us being on the cusp of Mario Wonder, Super Mario Wonder coming out, I almost feel like this is sort of a precursor to that game. Obviously, they couldn't be more far apart in terms of when they came out and just their look, but I feel like they're coming at Wonder with some of the same like design ideas, because Land is just wild. It just has some like wild ideas. And so I feel like Mario Wonder and Mario Land kind of go together. So like, if you're really excited for Mario Wonder and you've not tried this one out, I'd say give it a shot. I think there's a lot to enjoy about it. Even today, I had a lot of fun with it. I did finish it. It's a really short game. You can fly through it in no time, just like a couple hours. Really, really cool. And if you do play it, I do recommend trying to avoid using the save states function unless like you have to put the game down or doing the rewind. But overall, really, really good game. Also, Wario looks really funny in this game, and I just thought I'd point that out because he looks like he's on something. I am concerned for this man. All right, guys, and that brings us to the last game I want to talk about, revisiting Mario RPGs again, Paper Mario 64. The first thing I want to say, and probably what you all can tell just from looking at this game, is that the graphics have actually aged a whole lot better than most N64 games, I think. Because when you play something like Mario 64, the original, it doesn't look good. It's very old and blocky looking, and that's not necessarily like a fault of the game in the sense that it came out at a time when that was just the standard graphics, and that's just what it looked like. I mean, honestly, it probably looked better than a lot of things at the time, but going back to it now in our modern day, yeah, I mean, it's still fun, but in terms of the way it looks, it's just kind of rough. But Paper Mario, it seems to not really have that much of an issue here. Like, yeah, it's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but they've aged pretty remarkably. So that was the first thing I just wanted to note about the game, and you know, y'all can probably see it from the footage. The next thing I want to talk about is just the characters. The characters in this game are a lot of fun. They're entertaining. I do wish we got more time with them. I wish there was more interaction between the party members, because there's a lot of party members in this game. But for the brief moments that they do get, and just their character designs and little details here and there, they become really endearing, and you end up seeing a lot of charm in the game because of these characters. My personal favorite out of the party members, by the way, is probably Sushi. She is adorable. She's a purple fish, and I think she's great. And this is where I'm bringing up charm again. Yeah, like, this game is definitely charming, but I don't know, like, maybe there's probably a little bit of bias going on here, but I mean, I also played Paper Mario back in the day. Not as young as I did when I played Mario and Luigi. I wasn't quite as young when I played Paper Mario, but I was still like 10, 11 years old, something like that, and we got it on the Wii Virtual Console. And I never beat it. I never beat it at the time either, but I wanted to. But when it comes to just the charm, playing both these games back to back, I can't help but think and feel like Mario and Luigi just does it better. Just does a lot of the things that Paper Mario does, just in a better way. And you know, I think that probably could end up being a hot take to some of you all, but I don't know. I just felt like I was more entertained throughout Mario and Luigi than I was Paper Mario. The dialogue is good, and the story does take itself seriously, which I do appreciate. And I also like that the paper gimmick is not as much of a deal in this one as it is in all the later, or most of the later Paper Mario games. I know a lot of fans aren't big on that, but yeah, it's good. I enjoy the story. I found it to be entertaining and still charming and have a lot of cool moments. But I personally would say that Mario & Luigi, at least for me, is better. I feel like it is the more entertaining game and more fun overall out of the two. And I also think whoever wrote the dialogue for Mario & Luigi did an awesome job. Mario and Luigi themselves don't really talk, but the other characters do, and just the writing is absolutely on point. But that's definitely not a diss in any way to Paper Mario, because I still think it's really good when it comes to the writing and the characters. And there are some genuinely really cool moments in this game. It can be tough too, so definitely be ready for that. Overall, really cool game, and yeah, I definitely recommend it. So if you've never played Paper Mario 64 and you have the expansion pass, I definitely recommend giving this one a shot, especially if you enjoyed Mario and Luigi, or vice versa. So guys, that is the video. I hope you all enjoyed. I know this was something a little different, although I do end up saying that basically at the end of every video I do. I just like to, you know, try out some new things, mix up the style of content sometimes, and these were just 3 games that I played that I had a few thoughts on, and I wanted to share them with all of you. So if you wouldn't mind, if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button. If you didn't, I thank you for watching this long, and don't forget to engage that subscribe button down below, and I will see you all in the next video. God bless.
I wish I knew.